Welcome back to another episode of Learn with Shavern. So, on today's episode, we are going to be discussing FEDOR. FEDOR is an acronym for Final Experimental Demonstration Object Research. And FEDOR is an artificial intelligence robot, but this robot isn't like the other robots we've talked about. This is a gunslinging, gun-toting AI. No, for real though. So this AI is a Russian humanoid that is being trained to stay balanced while shooting guns. Supposedly its intent is for like moon exploration for Russia. Now, of course, this presents, as you guys can imagine, tons of concerns, right? I know even for myself, like I'm concerned. And over my previous few episodes, I've been mentioning to you guys all these different entities, all these different countries coming out with these various versions of different kinds of artificial intelligences and these different technological advances that are being portrayed as innovative, but we must observe in the motions that they're moving in the directions of our lives, right? And how we're moving in direction of being used by technology instead of using technology, right? Now, here's an interesting thing. The Prime Minister of Russia has been tweeting, because obviously this presented concerns, as I said. And he said things like, okay, of course we're not recreating the Terminator. That's exactly what you guys are doing, right? Not just you guys though, right? America got the humanoid robot Atlas. So, and not just them, China got a whole factory, and then Japan and so forth. So not the only ones. Most countries are in this direction. But us as the people, the common folks who aren't aware that all of these technological advances that are being portrayed as innovative, once they become mainstream and mainstream media being shown in the news and so forth, that's really only when it's like really in your face like that. Other than that, so anyhow, supposedly FEDOR is designed to make colonies on the moon and is being prepared, for a solo space mission to the moon in 2021 for the planned 2031 moon missions for Russia. Now, this is very interesting because FEDOR is developed by Android Technics, a company called Android Technics, and the Advanced Research Fund. I always am a big advocate of follow the money. I've mentioned this before in my previous episodes about following the money, right? Look at who's pushing the agenda financially on a fiscal level for these motions and these technological advances, and who is it really serving, who is it really hurting, at the expense of whom, at the sacrifice of what, who gains, who benefits, and who's hurt, because due to the law of polarity, both must exist. There is no everyone just equally is happy. That world does not exist. If you live in a real world, you understand that if you live in America, the reason why you have what's called first world privileges is because there are third world countries, right? Due to the law of polarity, those must exist in order for the first world privileges to also exist. Neither here nor there, as I was stating before about FEDOR. Now, FEDOR could do some pretty cool things besides just shooting a gun, right? FEDOR can drive a car. It can use various tools like a hammer and so forth. It can use keys to open a door. Now, I want y'all to really not overlook this motion about opening a door, right? It requires some really decent fine motor skills to take your keys, put them in the keyhole, turn them, and turn the doorknob and open your door, either pull or open, right? That is what's called a fine motor skill. A lot of us take it for granted until it's taken away from us. But for a robot to have that ability, to have that skill, right? A robot was originally designed to process just like a computer. It was meant to process, gather information, compound it, and so forth. And now we've evolved its abilities to be able to do something as intricate as putting a key and opening a door, right? But it gets better. Not only can it open a door, it can screw in light bulbs. It can even do push-ups. I'll share the link below with the video of FEDOR and some of the different experiments that they show FEDOR doing. It can operate a handgun, as I stated. Now, here's an interesting thing. Supposedly, Fedor is designed for rescue work. Follow me with this thought process here. Who are you rescuing on the moon? Or are we admitting that there's people on the moon that require rescuing via artificial intelligence? I have questions that several articles that I read did not answer in terms of this whole motion we're moving into for the space mission. So then it really leads me to question then, what is its real purpose? What is the rescue work that it entails? If something needs rescuing, what is it being rescued from? And is that why we're teaching the artificial intelligence how to use handguns? I don't know. I'm pretty smart, but there's a lot of people out there that are way smarter than me, and I am interested to hear what you guys think about this. Like, let me know, what do you feel about the Russian robot army? Do you feel that this is a good direction that we're going in? Do you think that, America should also step up their game and just stop playing with things like having snack bots, right, delivered to college students, and build a robot army? Or should we just say squash a robot army? Let's scale back a little bit from this really rapid direction of technology that we're moving in, and really observe how quickly we're becoming engulfed by all of these really cool things, right? Because they are cool. I can't even front like this stuff is not cool. Like, a lot of it is really cool. It's really dope. It's stuff that you would see in the movies. I'm not even gonna lie. But at the same time, it is scary because, and shout out to any of my 80s babies, 90s babies, right? We grew up watching Terminator, all of them. And it just feels like that's more real now. Outside of it being a fantasy, it just feels like we're moving in a direction where that may be real. And I for one, personally, I am concerned. That is the best word to describe how I feel about this. I am legitimately concerned about the direction we are moving in, as a people, as a country, as a world, right? Because it's not even just about my country living in America. It's about the whole world on a global aspect, like as a human race. Like, this is legitimately concerning. And if you're not concerned, that's because you're asleep. If you feel like I'm tripping about what I'm talking about, that's because you're asleep. Not sleep literally, but on the subconscious level, you sleep, because what I'm saying to you is not resonating deep enough about the direction we're going in as a people. And we must be mindful of it. There's not really no preparation in terms of this. It's more so like we literally need to make daily decisions to change the course of the direction that we are going in. All of these private research funds, as I stated yesterday about the CES trade group, right? Some of the technology is not even being displayed at the trade show. Some of these technologies are being displayed in private hotel rooms, right? So it's not even us as a people are allowing these things to happen, but we got to be mindful that they are happening. Okay, so it's like, what laws are in place to allow kind of like, I don't really like to say to suffocate creative energy in terms of like science or art or anything like that. But what kind of fail-safe can we put in place for us as a human race so that we don't have an end outcome like the Terminator, right? So we don't have, like, if this was iRobot, I would absolutely be the Will Smiths out here. I'll be the female version of Will Smith, right? I would be the Will Smiths out here in terms of, we shouldn't be trusting too much of all of this artificial intelligence and how much we're allowing in our home, no matter how nicely they wrapping this gift up in this bow. But I want to thank you all so much for liking, sharing, becoming Patreons. I am really curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you think it's a good idea that we have this Russian robot army? Do you think it's a good idea that America creates their own army? Maybe they shouldn't. Do you think it's a good motion that we're going in as a country to have all this artificial intelligence around us and slowly being integrated with us? right? Peace and blessings, family. I hope you have a powerful, productive, and positive day.